The Lost Herd. In the heart of the lush Jurassic world, where giant ferns tickled the bellies of the clouds and volcanoes slumbered under blankets of green, lived a young Apatosaurus named Pip. He was a happy little dinosaur, with eyes as bright as river stones and a heart full of curiosity. One sunny afternoon, Pip was playing a thrilling game of hide-and-seek with his family. "You'll never find me," he giggled, his little voice a squeak compared to the booming calls of his parents. He scampered away from the herd, his long neck wobbling with excitement as he searched for the perfect hiding spot. As Pip ventured deeper into the forest, a flash of iridescent blue caught his eye. It was a butterfly, its wings shimmering like jewels in the dappled sunlight. Forgetting all about his game, Pip followed the enchanting creature, his heavy feet surprisingly light as he tiptoed after it. The butterfly led him on a merry chase, fluttering over bubbling streams and under the low-hanging branches of ancient trees. Pip was so captivated by the butterfly's dance that he didn't notice how far he had wandered from the familiar sounds of his herd. Suddenly, the butterfly soared high into the canopy and disappeared. Pip blinked, looking around. The forest was different here. The trees were taller, their branches woven together so tightly that they blocked out the sun. A sudden chill ran down Pip's spine. "Mama? Papa?" he called out, his voice trembling. The only reply was the rustling of leaves and the distant cry of an unfamiliar bird. A wave of fear washed over him. He was lost. From the shadows of the dense undergrowth, a pair of sharp, intelligent eyes watched Pip. They belonged to Scar, a velociraptor with a jagged scar that ran across his snout. Scar was a cunning and patient hunter, and he had been observing the lost little Apatosaurus for some time. A low growl rumbled in his chest. A young one, alone and frightened, would be an easy meal. He began to move silently, his claws making no sound on the soft forest floor as he closed in on his unsuspecting prey. Pip's keen ears picked up a faint sound, a soft footfall, a snapping twig. He froze, his heart pounding in his chest. He slowly turned his head, and his eyes widened in terror. There, not far from him, was Scar, his sharp teeth glinting in the dim light. A terrified squeak escaped Pip's throat, and he turned and ran, his little legs pumping as fast as they could. He didn't know where he was going. He just knew he had to get away from the terrifying predator. Scar was fast, much faster than Pip. He closed the distance between them with terrifying speed, his claws ready to strike. Pip stumbled, his legs tangled in a thick root. He squeezed his eyes shut, bracing for the worst. But just as Scar was about to pounce, a loud, booming voice echoed through the forest. "Leave the little one alone." A massive, spiked tail swung through the air, narrowly missing Scar and crashing into a nearby tree with enough force to make the ground tremble. Scar hissed in frustration, his predatory gaze shifting from Pip to the newcomer. It was Spike, an old stegosaurus known throughout the valley for his wisdom and strength. Scar knew he was no match for the armored giant. With a final, menacing snarl at Pip, he melted back into the shadows of the forest, his promise of revenge hanging in the air. Pip, still trembling, looked up at his rescuer with wide, grateful eyes. Spike's stern expression softened as he looked at the frightened young Apatosaurus. "Are you all right, little one?" he asked, his voice a gentle rumble. Pip could only nod, still too scared to speak. Spike nudged him gently with his snout. "You're a long way from home," he said kindly. "Don't worry, I'll help you find your family." Pip finally found his voice, a small "thank you," filled with immense gratitude. Spike led Pip through the dense forest, his powerful body clearing a path for the small dinosaur. After a while, they reached a high ridge that overlooked the vast valley below. "Look," Spike said, pointing with his snout. In the distance, a herd of Apatosauruses was gathered by a large river. Pip's heart leaped with joy. He could see his parents, their long necks scanning the horizon, searching for him. "Mama, Papa," he cried out, his voice echoing across the valley. The journey down the ridge was much faster, with hope in Pip's heart. He was soon reunited with his parents, who embraced him with their long necks, their booming voices filled with relief and joy. Pip thanked Spike profusely, promising to visit him soon. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the valley, Pip snuggled close to his mother. He looked back at the dark forest, a shiver running down his spine as he remembered the gleaming eyes of Scar. He was safe for now, but he knew his adventure was far from over.